Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. The crafting system in World of Warcraft Dragonflight has been completely revamped and it's a pretty complex system overall now. So even if you're not a crafter, you're a customer, you want to buy some crafted gear, then there are some things that are really useful for you to know. In this video, I'm going to take a look at a number of things that it's really good to know about buying crafted gear, and the video is divided into chapters, so you can skip into whatever parts are interesting to you. First of all, there's three real main things that everyone should know about, and then I go into some special cases. The first main thing that you should know about the crafting system in World of Warcraft Dragonflight is the difference between public orders and personal orders. Blizzard has said that they designed the public orders to be something for people who just want their stuff quickly without caring too much about its quality. And indeed, you cannot specify the quality level in public orders, you can in personal orders. And as a result, when you make a public order, it can come out as any possible quality for that item. So you should be aware of this limitation of public orders, and if you really want the best quality gear, you should make personal orders. However, sometimes it can be useful to send a public order for the gear for the first time, and just get something crafted, get something for that slot, and then recraft it later into better shape. When you send public orders, you generally want to specify the duration as 12 hours, just to get lowest possible fees. The second thing everyone should know about is material quality. Most materials come in three qualities: rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 qualities, and this quality has a huge effect on the item level the crafter can make. Also, the item will remember how it was crafted. It's actually probably stored as a single value and not specifically, hey, one of these and two of these, but the item will remember the quality of the ingredients used. So if you recraft that item later, if you make the first version with really poor quality, you can't just immediately improve it into good quality by one recraft. You will have to do multiple recrafts to improve the overall level of materials used in that item. So let's say you're sending out a public order to get something right now immediately for use, and you plan to infuse it later. If you plan to infuse it later, then it's probably a good idea to use good materials already on the first craft, so that it will be easier to recraft it into higher item level later. But the system overall is a little funky, because in player testing it has been discovered that repeatedly recrafting an item with rank 2 materials actually improves it closer to rank 3 materials over time. But this requires multiple recrafts, minimum of 5, to get close to rank 3 material level, so it's just something that can be useful to keep in mind. If there's a real huge price difference between rank 2 and rank 3, then multiple recrafts with rank 2 can actually do a lot of good. The third big thing that you need to know is a general idea of what can crafters even make. Because crafting is a little bit different now. Crafters cannot just suddenly spew out rank 5 best possible item level gear. It takes some work and sometimes some materials and sometimes even some luck. Basically, there are three types of crafts that craftsmen do. There are guaranteed crafts where they have enough skill that it just comes out as that item level. Then there are a lot of crafts that are being done with randomness right now. It's with inspiration. Crafters can spec into inspiration, so you can talk to them about what percentage of inspiration do they have at the moment. And a lot of crafts are done by crafting the item and then recrafting it and recrafting it until inspiration procs and you get the best item level. And then some of the best gear can only reach the highest item level through that random process, or if the crafter uses a time-gated item, Illustrious Insight, to improve their skill for that craft. And obviously because those items are time-gated and they have to be provided by the crafter, then crafters want to charge for that item. Illustrious Insight can also only be used by crafters who are really deep into that specific item tree in knowledge points, so many crafters might not be able to do Illustrious Insight for guaranteed crafts, but they can do a random craft that will proc the same kind of item. And often getting the best item level through RNG requires cheaper materials than getting the best item level guaranteed. But all of this is stuff that you really want to talk to your crafter about. When you tell them what you need, then they can tell you what mats they exactly need to reach that, or with what kind of percentage chance. Just as a general example, if you find a crafter who is fully spec'd into that specific gear slot and has 100 skill, then typically what they can do. 392, so no primal infusion, with missive and embellishment, they can do that with full or partial R3 mats, it's guaranteed. But already if you want a 405 with missive and embellishment, then that's either going to be randomness with rank 2 materials, or it's going to be Illustrious Insight, the time-gated material with partial rank 3 materials. And if you have the concentrated primal infusion, you want a 418 with missive and embellishment, then that's randomness and that already requires some rank 3 materials, or it's illustrious insight, time-gated material, they can guarantee it with full rank 3 materials. So those 405s and 418s are not actually that easy to craft, no matter the skill of the crafter. There are also some exceptions, for example like weapons. 418 weapons with missive and embellishment cannot actually be guaranteed ever, they're just RNG. And note that when you send a personal order for a inspiration craft, so it's not guaranteed rank 5, you can't send that order as rank 5 because then the caster just can't do that because it's RNG based. Then let's take a look at some special cases. First of all, Draconic Treatises and other goods that don't have a quality level. These goods are perfect for public orders because you always get exactly the item that you want. There's no quality level, so every single item is exactly the same. Draconic Treatises is also a bit of a special case now that Blizzard limited the number of crafting orders that crafters can fulfill, then that actually means that there's usually a big queue for Draconic Treatises on inscription crafting orders. But crafting orders with less than 4 hours remaining can be completed by any crafter even if they have already fulfilled all the orders that they're allowed to. So for treatises especially, you really want to use the 12-hour duration, so that even if they go into queue, they will eventually get fulfilled. Another special case is profession gear itself. Rank 5 profession gear generally cannot be crafted with skill alone. You either have to do it with RNG chance with inspiration, or use the time-gated illustrious insight. Casquette Pickaxe is one of the rare exceptions where blacksmith who has both toolsmithing and hafted weapons can actually craft R5 Casquette Pickaxe just like that. For the most part, crafters can only guarantee rank 4 profession gear and rank 5 with insight, and in order to even use insight to get rank 5 gear, the crafter has to be fully specced into that specific slot. Leatherworking is another profession that has a couple of special quirks. First of all, the recipes that require awakened decay. Those can only be crafted at the altar at the end of Brackenhide Hollow. Yes, that means that you have to clear a dungeon in order to craft an item. And these items include stuff like Witherrot Tome and Venom-Steeped Stompers. So if you find crafters a little bit wary of taking these orders, then that would be the reason. Leatherworking also currently has the most difficult item in the entire game, and that's the Allied Leg Guards of Sands of Khan. Allied Leg Guards of Sands of Khan is unique in that no 418 Allied Leg Guards of Sands of Khan can ever be guaranteed, even with a fully specced, fully maxed crafter. It's only craftable through inspiration and RNG. There are some of the 418 combinations that cannot be guaranteed, like blacksmithing weapons with missive and embellishment, but you can do 418 with missive guaranteed as a blacksmith. And finally, there are Primalist Gems. Gems are a bit of a special case because gems cannot be recrafted. Every time you craft a gem, you just have to start from scratch, use full materials every single time. And how do you get a rank 3 Primalist Gem? Well, there's two ways. Either you try to get the inspiration proc, so you do the random crafting over and over again, every time with full materials. That can be done with a rank 2 Illimited Diamond. Or alternatively, if you want to make sure that it happens with a single go, then the jewel crafter will have to use one of the illustrious insights, time-gated materials, and you have to provide a rank 3 Illimited Diamond, and then they can ensure that you will get a rank 3 gem. So that covers everything you need to know as a buyer about crafting in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Public orders, quick, but you don't get necessarily the highest quality. Personal orders, you need to talk to the crafter, find out what exactly they need and what exactly can they do, because there are many crafts that cannot be guaranteed, and you need to realize what you need to provide and what are the odds that the crafter can provide you with what you need. Material quality, super important for the end result, and also something that the item remembers, so if you craft it with poor materials at the start, it's going to take multiple recrafts to improve its quality. And the general opportunities and limitations of what the crafters can craft in this expansion. And then there's a number of those special cases that I took a look at. And armed with this information, you're much more likely to have a good experience as a customer buying crafted gear in Dragonflight. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.